Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Yonhap News Agency, North Korea's foreign ministry has strongly criticized a recent joint statement adopted by South Korea and the European Union, EU, that condemned Pyongyang's military cooperation with Russia. North Korea declared that it will continue to treat South Korea as a hostile state and an invariable enemy. The joint statement was adopted in Brussels during summit talks between South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and European Council President Antonio Costa. It described the military cooperation between North Korea and Russia during the war in Ukraine as illegal and urged both nations to immediately cease all such activities. In response, Pyongyang claimed the joint statement represents a clear infringement on its sovereignty and a grave hostile act. The North Korean Foreign Ministry also accused President Lee of abandoning efforts for peace, asserting that peaceful coexistence between the two Koreas is impossible, and that the hostile relationship will persist indefinitely. According to Sinchu Daily, the 18th Straits Forum was held in Xiamen, Fujian Province. Wang Huning, chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, delivered a speech stressing that Beijing remains committed to the peaceful development of cross-strait relations and national reunification. He reiterated adherence to the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, while strongly opposing Taiwan independence and external interference. During the forum, Wang met with a Taiwanese delegation, including Kuomintang, KMT, Vice Chairman Chang Jung-kung. Chang stated in his address that people in Taiwan belong to the Chinese nation and expressed hope for deeper cross-strait exchanges to enhance mutual welfare and preserve peace. He noted that Taiwan's legal framework for cross-strait affairs is positioned under a One China structure rather than state-to-state relations, which provides a basis for political trust and dialogue. Additionally, Zhao Zuyi, secretary of the Fujian Provincial Party Committee, pledged that Fujian would continue to build a shared home for compatriots on both sides of the strait by deepening social and economic integration. According to a report by Sinchu Daily, tensions between the United States and Iran remain high despite recent optimistic statements from both sides regarding a potential agreement to de-escalate Middle East conflicts. Iranian Foreign Minister Said Abbas Araghchi stated that the two nations are closer than ever to reaching a Memorandum of Understanding, MOEU, a sentiment echoed when U.S. President Donald Trump retweeted the post. U.S. officials also expressed 80 to 85% confidence in finalizing the OEU soon, with Geneva as a likely signing location. However, the situation remains highly volatile. Shortly after these optimistic declarations, the U.S. Central Command shot down several Iranian one-way attack drones heading toward the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Furthermore, significant discrepancies exist regarding the terms of the deal. While Iranian media claims the agreement would preserve Iran's uranium enrichment rights and unfreeze $24 billion in assets, a senior White House official counter-asserted that Iran must dismantle its nuclear program and destroy its enriched uranium stockpile before any funds are released. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed that signing the memorandum alone would not trigger the release of any frozen funds. According to a report by Metro.co UK, NATO fighter jets were scrambled over Lithuania after a suspected kamikaze drone was feared to have breached its airspace. The radar signal, characteristic of an unmanned aerial vehicle, prompted authorities to advise residents in Vilnius to take precautions, though officials later suggested it might have been a weather balloon. This airspace alarm occurred alongside a devastating Russian assault on Ukraine. Russian forces unleashed a dozen cluster bombs on a market in the Dnipropetrovsk region town of Vasilkivka, resulting in at least one civilian death and injuring 13 others. The attack also severely damaged local businesses and residential buildings. The escalating tension comes as NATO considers granting its commander-in-chief in Europe expanded authority to shoot down hostile drones without consulting national governments, a policy set to be discussed at the upcoming July summit in Ankara. Meanwhile, UN statistics indicate that Russian attacks on Ukrainian civilians have reached their highest rates since April 2022. Concurrently, Ukraine has intensified its counteroffensive, targeting critical Russian logistics, including bridge access to the occupied Crimean Peninsula, a major chemical plant and energy infrastructure. According to Engadget, OpenAI is facing a broad investigation by a coalition of U.S. state attorneys general. On June 12th, the artificial intelligence company received a subpoena from the New York Attorney General seeking a wide range of documents. The investigation is reportedly focused on OpenAI's advertising practices, user engagement and retention strategies, and its handling of user data, including health information. Investigators are also seeking information regarding the company's safety policies for minors and senior users, its deep learning models, and model behaviors like sycophancy. While it remains unclear what specific event triggered this probe, OpenAI has faced mounting pressure from regulators and the public. Last year, 44 state attorneys general urged major AI developers to better protect children from harmful chatbot interactions. Additionally, OpenAI is currently named as a defendant in wrongful death lawsuits concerning teens who died by suicide after interacting with ChatGPT. An OpenAI spokesperson stated that the company takes the regulators' concerns seriously and intends to engage constructively with their offices. This probe comes shortly after OpenAI filed preliminary paperwork with the SEC to prepare for a public offering. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.